Thank you, Matt. And I start by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and thank Richard Wally for his welcome to country and thoughtful opening and scene setting of all of our deliberations today. I want to acknowledge my state and federal parliamentary colleagues and of course our friends in local government, Paula Rogers and committee members for Committee for Perth, and everyone who's taken the time to spend today deliberating and thinking through the vision for Perth for 2050. It's generally customary to talk about Perth when talking about Perth, to talk about our amazing beaches, the beautiful weather, the quality and standard of our lifestyle, and of course our monumental contribution to our national economy. And it wouldn't be out of place to remark on our world-class wine and food sector on our doorstep with the Swan Valley and Margaret River region. And we'd even talk about our vibrant small bar scene, thanks to this government's reforms, that has finally enabled us to shake the Dullsville tag, which I know is something that the Committee for Perth has advocated for many, many years. We're now attracting more and more world-class events and putting us on the map in the most populated time zone in the world and as a major tourism destination. But I'm not going to talk about those things as much as we need to talk about the things that we haven't done yet and things that are yet to be done. The things that we all need to do together to capture a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to decarbonise our community and our electricity grid and capture a new wave of investment opportunities and jobs growth. So let's begin with the end in mind, Perth 2050, and what that looks like. Well, in 2049, Labor would have won its 9th consecutive election, making WA Labor the longest-serving government in Australian history. But in all seriousness, without that electoral result, what does 2050 look like? My children will be 43 and 35, either have their own family or just starting their own family. Our population would have reached 3.5 million people. We would have built 800,000 new homes. Metronet will be a role model program studied by urban planners as an example of how to reduce car use and increase housing density near public transport infrastructure. Almost all of our water, most of our water will come from desalination plants. About 1/4 of our population will be over 65. There'll be 1.7 million people in jobs compared to in 2011 when there was 850,000. This will of course mean more schools, more hospitals, more water use, more power consumption. In 2050, all the clean energy link projects will be completed for the Swiss, unlocking huge amounts of wind and solar resources in our regions. The Western Trade Coast, nearly 4,000 hectares of industrial precinct combining Kwinana, Rockingham Industrial Zone and the Australian Marine Complex in latitude 32 will have been up and running for a number of years. We'll have hydrogen, ammonia, green steel and critical mineral sectors, all established industries, creating jobs and a significant revenue for the state. Through AUKUS and our defence industry strategy, we will be a well-established major shipbuilder and maintenance hub for submarines. All of these industries will be electrified. The Swiss generation capacity would have grown from 5.9 gigawatts to 56 gigawatts in 2050. The vast majority of this power will be from renewable sources and coal will be long gone. 2050 is not actually the distant future. Decisions that we make now are going to impact our children for decades to come. They will determine if we've done enough to slow or stop the rising temperatures, if we are leaving a livable planet for future generations. What can we do now so that our children and grandchildren can enjoy the same, if not better, lifestyle that we are all enjoying today? The Cook government is planning for this future. The Perth and Peel at 3.5 million frameworks seek to enable the creation of livable and vibrant communities, suburbs, spaces and places where people want to live and work and socialise. Our Swiss transmission plan known as the Grid Plan, advances our vision to make WA a renewable energy powerhouse. It's a transmission plan beyond 2030. And it's evidence in our recalibration of our departments and our essentially bringing energy into the centre of everything that we do as a government and an economy, and creating the Department of Energy and Economic Diversification. Our Made in WA plan will boost manufacturing and create local precincts in areas like Kwinana and Kemerton for new and emerging industries to both establish and grow. We're also investing in the workforce of the future through fee-free and low-fee TAFE and expanding clean energy training. The importance of technical and trade training cannot be understated in Western Australia's future. Think of all of those houses, schools, hospitals, energy infrastructure that is going to need to be built. In June 2023, a billboard appeared on a construction site in Belgium which read, "Hey ChatGPT, finish this building." And it went viral for obvious reasons. While the world is legitimately concerned about the impact of AI on jobs, those people in electrical, building and construction jobs will have less to worry about than, say, lawyers and accountants, love them as we do. Putting aside the risks and opportunities created by AI, the fact remains that to grow our economy, we are going to need a skilled workforce, and immigration will have a role, but TAFE and technical training is going to be critical to our future success, and that's why we continue to invest heavily in technical and trade education. But given the size of the challenge in front of us, there is much, much more to do. Our current planning and legislative frameworks were designed for a different age, when the focus was on mining and industrial growth fuelled by fossil fuels like coal, oil and gas. Much of the industrial growth in the future will be in the renewable energy sector and in low or zero carbon industries like ammonia, green steel and green lithium. This will require us to think differently about our processes. After all, we're investing in projects that will have a net environmental benefit for everyone. Does it make sense to treat a solar battery project the same way as an oil refinery? As a community, we have to let go of the not in my backyard mindset so that these projects with broad environmental value and benefit can proceed in a timely fashion. As a society, we need to support people who are on the peri-urban and regional areas who choose to host wind and solar farms. As a government, we need laws and regulations that can fast-track renewable energy projects and projects that will have a net environmental benefit. That is exactly what we're doing with our State Development Bill, and if passed by Parliament, it will establish a modern and agile framework for major projects that can be assessed and clean energy and critical minerals future. Despite everything we're doing, there is more to do, and the road to 2050 will not be easy. We will have to adapt to the inevitable changes in global trade practices and the impact of climate change. There are many known unknowns. The best way to be future ready is to have a solid foundation of good governance through political stability, pragmatic policy and legislation, and a future-focused government that can look around corners and will be prepared for change. Keeping the status quo, as the leader of the opposition recently said, it's just not an option. Imagine looking at the world today and saying, yeah, we don't need to do anything, let's keep the status quo. I don't think anyone in this room thinks that the status quo is acceptable, and that's why we're all here working towards a future for 2050. The government also doesn't have all the answers. We rely on you. We rely on industry, on community leaders, on entrepreneurs, on students, on our young people to advocate for change and contribute to the political debate and how we can have a vibrant future for Perth and Western Australia. They say there are three things that when they're gone, they can never be taken back: a spent arrow, a broken word, and a lost opportunity. And today we have the opportunity to create a plan for Perth and a vision. I encourage you all to grab that opportunity with both hands. And as Richard Woolley has said, listen and understand other points of view and other perspectives when developing and steering that vision for the future. Thank you for taking the time today to help to steer a future for Western Australia. Thank you to the Committee for Perth for the opportunity to address you all. I hope that between myself and Richard, we've set the scene for what is going to be an excellent discussion and a fantastic outcome, and I look forward to the outcome. Thank you.